Hello class, it is a gorgeous fall day in Texas. The weather's cold, but the tones are hot. So that must mean you're watching the Jack Sunday Show. My name is Brad Jackson, and whether I'm flying airplanes or building pedals, I'm always learning. Join me, and together we'll expand our horizons. This is Jackson Audio. Well, Black Friday is coming, so to celebrate the biggest sale of the year, we created something that guys have been asking us for literally years. And I can say literally years because we've been around 4 years, and it's been over a year since someone has asked me. So literally years. All right, it's the White Fuzz pedal.
Oh God!
Our very first white pedal. We've had people say, you do all these crazy colors of anodized aluminum, would you please make a white pedal? We've had people that for some reason only play exclusively white pedals. I've seen boards that are like monochromatic. They're kind of cool looking. So anyway, so they wanted a white pedal, so here we go. The Fuzz is now in white. It's a nice flat white powder coat with glossy black text on it. Sounds the same, still amazing as always, but I love how clean and sharp it looks. It looks amazing. It's a good time to talk about this since we're gonna make this available on Black Friday. Let's go back and talk about some of the things that make the Fuzz what it is and why it makes it just a phenomenal sounding pedal. So let's get nerdy and talk about Fuzz.
This is a whole new level of nerd.
Safety glasses on.
My calculations are correct.
That's 21 gigawatts!
You're gonna see some serious
All right, so the Fuzz. It is a modular pedal. It's modular meaning that you can take out and remove and reinstall different modules. So it comes with one by default that's installed. And then we have another module called the Vintage Fuzz, which is basically a vintage fuzz space kind of a vibe. And that comes with it, so you can at least get used to the idea of changing out modules for your Fuzz. All right, anyway, you got the pedal, take the screws out, pop the back off. The little red card right there is your removable Fuzz module. So that's the one it comes shipped with. It's called the Modern Fuzz. It's just dead simple. It's a great sounding, aggressive fuzz. Cleans up really well when you roll back your volume on your guitar, which is one of the most important things that you can have for a Fuzz. So, talking to Josh, our video guy, he was faithfully standing behind us, or behind the camera. He's waving, you can't see him because he's, like I said, on the back side of the camera. And that's how cameras work. We were talking about the Fuzz, like why did I make it? What was the impetus for it? Inspiration, that kind of stuff. Well, see, I'm 42 now. I think I probably bought my first pedal when I was 19. I went to a place called Spear Music in Garland, Texas. And I bought it from a guy named Tommy Roberts. Tommy Roberts is a local legend in the Dallas area. He's been here forever. And he was like the full tone dealer back in the, was that 90s? Like late 90s, early 2000s. So they were the Spear Music was the full tone dealer. So if you wanted the good stuff, and you have to remember back in that time, full tone was the good stuff. There was Boss, Digitech, I mean all these different companies. And then there was Full Tone, and Full Tone was the company that really started the whole boutique revolution of let's take old circuits, let's improve them, let's fix stuff, make it better, make it absolutely bulletproof. And even to this day, actually, there's a catalyst over there in that toolbox. Can you grab that? So anyway, I have a Full Tone catalyst here. So he was the first guy that ever made pedals, to my knowledge, that were just absolutely roadworthy. So that's kind of where I was at the time. Here you go. All right, so anyway, Full Tone pedals. Back in the late 90s, I'm playing guitar. I went to Spear Music to go see Tommy Roberts. He sold me, I think it was a 69 Fuzz, a 70 Fuzz, and a Soul Bender all on the same day. So I got the germanium fuzz face, the silicone fuzz face, and the germanium tone bender circuit, the 3-knob tone bender. And man, those 3 pedals are phenomenal. To this day, they're still phenomenal. And I'm talking about the big box ones that Full Tone made back in the day, not the little bitty ones, but the bigger ones. Phenomenal sounding pedals, like as good as you can get for a fuzz face. And that really was the point in my life where I was like, oh my gosh, I get what fuzz is all about. because I was a super big Eric Johnson fan. I think Obvia Musicom had just come out, so I was all over that album. And some of the best fuzz tones on earth are on that album. I'll show you a picture of it here. Josh, make a mental note to put a picture of that album here. But it's a phenomenal album. Great fuzz sounds on that album. So, okay, I forgot to mention something about the fuzz pedals that I bought from Tommy Roberts back at Spear Music in Garland. It just kind of dawned on me, duh, it's the same Tommy Roberts that is now our dealer at Tone Shop Guitars. They have a shop in Addison. They just opened a new shop in Keller, just down the street from us. So please go check out Tommy Roberts' new shop in Keller, Texas, Tone Shop.
I also used to work for Tommy.
You used to work for Tommy? Are you serious? Holy cow. Okay, so everyone's worked for Tommy. He's a legend. He actually made, there's a TR model of full tone full drive. It's a salmon, kind of a pink color full drive, and it's the TR model. I don't know what's different about it, but it has a different kind of salmon color, and it says TR, Tommy Roberts. So I guess Tommy was a gigantic full tone dealer back in the day, so much so that they made him special colors. So this is my challenge to all of our dealers. You become a mega, super huge dealer like Tommy Roberts. I'll make a pedal with your color of your choice. I don't care, it could be white. We can do that. Anyway, that's what got me into fuzz. Of course, I wasn't even slightly thinking about starting an amp company or a pedal company. This was like forever ago, 20 years ago. So anyway, that's really how I got into it. And so having these different flavors of fuzz were what got me aware that there are so many different voices of fuzz and how each one is radically different than the next and how they all do totally different things musically, especially for different styles of music. So there's a lot of really unique and they're very useful voices, and that's the great thing about fuzz is small changes make big differences on fuzzes. So you can pop out the fuzz circuit on our fuzz pedal, and you can put it in like a big muff thing, which we call it the goat head. Anyway, so that does tons of crazy stuff with just changing small things. That's the magic of fuzz. So that's really what got me started on the fuzz, and that was the inspiration behind doing a modular version, because I wanted to get all the things that I had gotten from the different full tone units I've had over the years, and just make it in a package that's really accessible. That, because I hate buying, I don't want to buy a pedal for every different little sound if it's just a variation of a sound. So something like the Asabi, where you have a high gain distortion thing. Well, great, that's a great theme of a sound, a high gain distortion thing. But maybe something like our large mouse module, which is a Rat inspired module. Well, speaking of Rat, I saw today that JHS just launched their, they call it the Pack Rat, which is awesome. It's a great name for pedal. God, I can't do anything about that. Anyway, it's their thing. It's like they're all Rat circuits in one pedal, which is kind of a continuation of the Muffaletta, which is their big muff thing. Is it the Bonsai? Yeah, the Bonsai, which is all the 808. So definitely hats off to Josh and the guys at JHS. Nice work. It sounds awesome. So anyway, I like to have things that do more than one thing, because if I want a different sound of fuzz, well, then it'd be nice to get there without having to buy a whole new pedal, because strictly speaking of manufacturing, most of what you're paying for is the architecture, enclosure, switches, knobs, the pots, the jacks, all that stuff. That's 90% of your material cost is that stuff. The circuit card, very little money there. It's just you're paying for the time and the knowledge that it takes to know how to put all the different parts in the right order and pick the different values. That's really what you're paying for. But again, most of your cost is associated with just the architecture, how it works. So if you can change out modules for a relatively small amount of money and make a whole new pedal, that's a good deal for all of us. So anyway, that is the reason behind the fuzz. I'm crazy about it. It's a great pedal. We released it about a year ago, and it's done crazy well for us, and you guys seem to have really gone on board with the modular idea. So thank you for that. All right, enough yakking. Let's hear how it sounds. All right, so I'm playing the fuzz into a twin reverb using a 65 Strat, using the aux as my amp just to keep it quiet in here and to make it easier to record. But here's the core clean sound. All right, I'm gonna start with the octave. The octave is the first thing that the guitar sees when it goes into the fuzz pedal, so that's a logical place to start. So here's what it sounds like. I've got the knob set, everything's about 2 o'clock. So the volume, the blend, and the octave is about 2 o'clock. So you get this kind of thing going. it's not a super like overly pronounced octave effect like you get with a Digitech whammy or something like that, but it's a subtle kind of a thing, which I dig. And guys like Joel Bramhall, who use this kind of effect quite a bit. Actually, I stole those settings from him. He always runs his about 2 o'clock, and that seems to be the Doyle sound. So that's a good starting place for me. So anyway, so that's the sound of it. It's not like a super over-the-top fuzz, but when you start to go up an octave on your guitar, the trick with all this kind of stuff, especially octaves, is be on the 12th fret, neck pickup, and if you really want that octave to stick out, roll your volume back to about 7 or 8. So right now, I'll go up high and we'll play on the neck pickup. But check this out, roll it back a little bit. I'm on 7 now. Makes the octave stick out just a little bit more, almost gives you kind of a ring modulator sound. So that's one of the tricks. It's pretty cool on an octave. Also, whenever you do double stop bends, I'll show you, you're going to hear the notes, the one note go up, but you're going to hear this ghost note come diving down out of nowhere. It's a really cool thing with octave pedals. And the Fox Tone Machine does it, the Octavia does it, most octave pedals that I know of, the old school ones, do this artifact. It's just a cool sound. So you have the one note going up, but you hear this ghost note come down. Anyway, there's the octave. It's phenomenal. It's cool because you can use it with other things. You can put an 808 in front of it or behind it, however you want to use it. And the octave will play nice with that and give you some really cool extra little dynamics to your sound. So here's the fuzz. I run the fuzz wide open because it's a fuzz and you want to fuzz, and that's what it does. So leave the fuzz wide open. This is the ultimate trick. With all the old school guys that know how to use a fuzz, they leave the fuzz wide open, maybe like 9 out of 10, like 9 out of 10, or maybe you'd call it like 4 o'clock, 3 to 4 o'clock in the volume control. They will run the fuzz control there and use their volume control on their guitar. Typically single coils sound best with fuzz pedals, but use this guy a lot. Get familiar with it. There's tons and tons of different shades of gain just by using this guy here. So let's give that a go. What I love about that circuit, the modern fuzz circuit, is it's pretty heavy, but it doesn't lose articulation. You still can hear the notes, which is a really good thing. I mentioned the Eric Johnson album. This was the one after Ave Musicom. This was Venus Isle. It's a really great album. I think he has a song there called Pavilion, if I got the name right, but it's this kind of a vibe. It always makes me think of it. Kind of a good vintage fuzz kind of a thing, but has clarity, good articulation, and of course, you roll back, it cleans up. 3 right there. Pull it up. There's 7. There's 10. And if you want to get over the top, throw the octave in front of it. All right, one last trick. Because the Octave has a blend control in it, we can run the blend all the way back, run the volume all the way up. Now it's not an octave anymore, it is a straight up transistor boost. Here's clean sound of the amp. Here it is being slammed with a transistor boost. Now I love that. It's a different style of boost than something like the Prism has in it, where it's got the MOSFET boost, it's got the transparent boost. This is none of those things. It's really just gnarly and aggressive. It's a very rude, old school kind of a boost. I like it a lot for that, because it's just orally offensive, if that's a term. That's how I would term that. So anyway, check this out. If you have a really great boost, slam that into the front of a fuzz, it's just tons and tons of fuzz. So there's that. I'm not gonna get into all the details of all the different cards because you can find that other places, but this is just a reminder, kind of a refresher video for the fuzz. It's a new color scheme. Thought it was time for a new video to remind you guys what it can do. The last thing I'll leave you with is this. Fuzz is a very cool thing, but the hardest thing about fuzz in any band context, when you're making an album, playing live, is trying to stick out of the mix, because fuzz just turns into this wall of sound. And if you have all that full frequency wall of sound going, it's really nice to be able to stick out a little bit more. So we stuck a 3-band active EQ in there, so you can cut the bass, boost the mids, do whatever you want to do. I'll just jump the mids for a second, give you an idea what that's like. So actually, let me start with it flat. Boost the mids about 3 o'clock. Now you may notice that it's a really, really kind of honky kind of a thing. Internally, there's a bunch of trimmers that you can set the Q. You can set the Q of the mid frequency on the little trimmer inside, but you can also set the bass Q, the bass frequency, the treble Q, and the treble frequency inside as well. There's no internal trimmer on the inside for the mid frequency, because we brought that control forward onto the front panel, because that's a huge thing. Like you're trying to sit in the mix, trying to sit in with your band, you know, whatever song you're playing, you can now dial in the mid so that you can stick out at the right frequency that you want to stick out at, so that you're really heard in the mix. So check this out. I'm going to sweep the mids a little bit as I'm playing. If you want to get even crazier, start cutting bass, maybe boosting the highs a little bit. It may sound a little thin now, but in a band context, your part's going to stick out like a sore thumb, and it makes it easier for the engineer when it comes down to mixing it, because you don't have to do a whole bunch of shaping on your sound, because you're already staying in your own lane, so to speak. So that's one of the benefits of having an active EQ on any pedal, certainly a fuzz, because most fuzzes get lost in the mix very badly. So, all right, 97% gentlemen, 3% ladies. Those metrics are getting better. Thank y'all for watching. This has been the Jack Sunday Show. As always, it's a pleasure. Stay tuned. We always have more content coming out. And please go pick up one of the new white fuzz pedals that we're releasing on Black Friday. Everything we're selling, everything we offer, 20% off, direct and all of our dealers worldwide. It's going to be 20% off during the whole Black Friday, Cyber Monday, however long we're running that sale. Will be 20% off, including the new white fuzz. So get yourself one. I think it actually makes it sound better. You believe that? All right. Have a great day, guys. Take care. I'm Brett Jackson, Jackson Audio. This has been the Jack Sunday Show. See you soon.